The Cookie Story. In a quiet corner of a sunlit cafe, the air smelled of roasted coffee beans and sweet sugar. Two friends, Wasim and David, sat across from each other, a plate of freshly baked chocolate cookies resting between them. Steam curled lazily from their mugs, and for a moment, the world outside seemed to slow down. Wasim looked at the cookies, then back at David, a curious sparkle in his eyes. "Can I ask you something a bit random, David?" Wasim asked, picking up a cookie. David laughed. "Sure, go ahead." Wasim held the cookie up. "This cookie, did it bake itself?" David chuckled again. "Obviously not. My mom made them this morning. She mixed the ingredients and put them in the oven." Wasim nodded. "Right, because nothing comes from nothing. If the cookie exists, it had a cause. Now, look at the sky, the trees, even our own beating hearts. Did all of that just appear from nothing, with no cause at all?" David went quiet, his gaze shifting to the trees outside. "I suppose not," David admitted. "So," Wasim continued, "if the universe has a cause, what is that cause like? Think about your mom. When she baked this, did she become the cookie? Did she merge with the flour and the chocolate?" David smirked. "No, that's a strange thought. She's a person. The cookie is just a cookie." Wasim leaned in. "Exactly. The maker is always distinct from what they make. If God made the universe, he isn't part of the trees or the stars. He is separate from his creation, outside of the matter and energy he created." David looked out at the morning sun. "That makes sense. But when does it all start?" Wasim followed his gaze. The cookie had a beginning when the baking started, but the baker was there long before the cookie. Science tells us the universe, and time itself, had a beginning. If God created time, then he must exist outside of it. He doesn't age, he doesn't wait, and he has no beginning. He is eternal, existing in a now that never ends. David frowned slightly, hitting a classic hurdle. But if everything needs a cause, then who made God? Wasim smiled, as if he had been waiting for this very question. "Let's go back to the chain. To have this cookie, we need your mom. For her to exist, she needed her parents. And they needed theirs. It's a long line of people, each one depending on the one before them to bring them into existence. Now, imagine that chain goes back forever," Wasim said, his voice dropping to a whisper. "If the line of parents is infinite, with no first person to ever start the chain, does the baker ever get born? Does the cookie ever get made?" He stopped and waited. For 4 long seconds, the cafe was silent. David stared at the cookie, the logic clicking into place. "No," David finally said. "If there's no starting point, nothing ever actually starts." Wasim nodded. "Exactly. The chain must stop. There must be an uncaused first, who simply is." To make it clearer, Wasim described a long train on a track. Imagine a carriage that can only move if the one in front pulls it, and that one only moves if the one in front of it pulls it. If that line of carriages goes back forever with no engine at the very front, does the train ever move? The image of a stationary, endless train filled their minds. "Never," David replied. "You need the engine, the uncaused cause. So we have a creator who is outside creation, eternal and uncaused," Wasim said. "But is there only one? Imagine 2 head bakers, Zeno and Lev, in a single kitchen. Both are equally in charge, but they have totally different recipes. One wants salt, the other wants sugar. If they both have absolute power, and they disagree, the kitchen falls into chaos. Nothing gets baked." Wasim gestured to the world outside again. "But look at the universe. Gravity works the same here as it does on the moon. Light travels at the same speed everywhere. From the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, everything follows one set of perfect, unbroken rules. This isn't chaos, David. It's the signature of a single will. One God, one set of laws." David looked at the fallen leaves and the steady rhythm of the street, seeing the order for the first time. Wasim set the cookie back on the plate. "One cookie, 5 steps. A creator exists. He is distinct from us. He is eternal. He is the uncaused first. And he is one. That is the God of Islam. That is Allah. David looked at the cookie and then at his friend, a wide smile breaking across his face. All that, from a cookie, he whispered. Wasim grinned. From a cookie.